Hi, I'm Dominic Patton, and thanks for joining us again on Next Generation TV. It is my pleasure to have the star of American Gods, Mr. Ricky Whittle, here with us. Thank you, sir.
Pleasure.
Mr. Shadow
I love
Moon.
that. That means a lot.
We try. You grew up in a military family, and you grew up in a family that obviously moves around a lot, which is very similar to the background of your character in American Gods, Shadow Moon. So I wanted to get a sense, how much did that inform your playing that character?
It made it very relatable for me. As a child, I find it strange when people tell me they grew up with the same friends. They went to kindergarten, high school, prom, you know, the friends that they grew up with their whole lives. To me, that's strange, and yet they're the ones that look at me and go, oh, you had to move every 3 years. Was that not hard? I didn't know any different. That's all I knew. Every 3 years, I would have to say goodbye to my best friends and make new friends. So I traveled around. It made me very outgoing. It made me very relaxed about different cultures. I became hungry to learn about different people. And with regards to Shadow, I was able to kind of translate to him this kind of feeling of not belonging anywhere. Because Shadow didn't know his father. His mother died when he was younger, so he used to just travel around America and pull small cons here and there until he found Laura. And Laura was the one rock that he had that he felt...
In the middle of a small con.
He found home, yeah. And in mid-con, which we'll learn, you know, throughout the series, was in Indiana, and he found this kind of rock, this one thing that was stable in his life, and all of a sudden, his life had a meaning because he had something. And that's why it's so devastating when that's ripped away from him just before he leaves prison.
Now, is that something that you found you could draw from in your own life? Did you find it a point when you finally, as an adult, moved back to the UK and got into obviously you almost became a footballer, and modeling, and then got into acting. Did you find that like, okay, now I've got a base?
I think I'm still searching, to be quite honest. I actually envy Shadow because he found, you know, someone that he kind of held as home. And, you know, I've moved to LA, and I will probably never leave California. Not LA, it's a little bit crazy for me sometimes, a bit too much going on, but California as a whole, I think will always be home. Right now, I've got my lady at home, but I've also got this career, which is my childhood dream. You know, I'm not from a good area, essentially. You know, I may sound a certain way to America, but...
Well, every American thinks that every Brit is obviously related to the royal family and knows
They went to school with Harry and William, and you know we're very posh. But no, I'm not from a good area. You know, I had to fight every day because I was a black kid in a white school. I was an English kid in an Irish school. I was a soccer player in a rugby school, a Catholic in a Protestant school. Every day someone wanted to fight. You know, so I was able to kind of, even though I speak a certain way, I've got that kind of street vibe that Shadow has, which is kind of cool. And this is all stuff that I've just been able to kind of harness and kind of put into Shadow. So I really do kind of relate to kind of his whole background of traveling around, never fitting in, always being kind of stood on and trodden on, and maintaining that hope that it doesn't matter, you know, I can keep getting up and moving forward.
Brian told me that one of the things that he really loved about it is you were so passionate about the project, that you were kind of there when you didn't even need to be there.
Yeah.
Because it was all kind of happening.
It's because it's an incredible project. This is a monster, and as the world has seen, you know, there's nothing like this on TV. And we're in a great privileged position where we have a platform to tell stories, to entertain, but also educate. You know, these themes that have become very, you know, relevant now in the current political climate with immigration, racism, sexism, women's rights, homophobia.
Power of media.
It's exactly, technology evolving. This is all very current right now, and we can kind of, although entertain, we can also just raise conversations and keep conversations in the headlines, which they need to be.
You want to rob the casino?
I think I need to. I mean, I haven't come to this lightly. I've been eliminating options one by one before I came to my final decision. And, I mean, final may be the wrong word.
Are we discussing or are you telling?
There's some wiggle room.
This is desperate. Okay, this is some desperate bullshit. Are you unhappy? Because I'm happy. Okay, you make me happy.
Yes, I see that you're happy. From this side of it, from the wrong side of it. And I think maybe I resent not being happy. Not resent you, just resent.
But a lot of people know you from the 100. I mean, you were
Yeah.
you were on season 1. You were around, and seasons 2 and 3 as Lincoln, you were on all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, that was really your introduction to North America in many ways.
That
I guess
was-
that
was
and
the-
Austin Land.
Austin Land and Mistresses, you know.
That's
I
true.
became a housewife's favorite.
Became a hunk. Yeah.
Well, because my character didn't have any wardrobe. I would walk into my trailer and literally there'd be just a pair of jeans hanging up, and I go, I mean, are you washing the shirts and things, or is that it? And they'd be like, oh no, that's it. I'd be like, okay, thought so. He literally had no shoes, socks, no shirts. It was just jeans every week. But I didn't mind it. It was fun, and the writing on that was great. And I got to work with Rochelle Aites, who was beautiful and stunning in every way. And it was a great learning curve. But all it's done is just bring different audiences and different eyes to my career, who I can now kind of show them.
How did you
American
find
Gods.
it? You know, you were obviously on Hollyoaks in the
Yeah.
UK, which is huge. If people
Yeah.
people over here don't know about it, teen soap.
It's
soup
like
up.
Beverly
it's
Hills,
like the longest
Beverly Hills
running.
90210 if everyone went bankrupt.
Exactly.
So if everyone
Exactly.
was broke
yeah.
in 90210, that's Hollyoaks.
Which
basically.
it's another way of saying
with English accents.
classic British TV.
Boom, yeah.
So,
Our teeth are
but you
terrible.
were really know on that. You came second on Strictly Come Dancing,
Yeah, I mean,
which
that
is a
still
great
hurts.
little resume.
I mean,
love
that
that.
hurts a little bit. I can't believe you brought that up.
Hey, you gotta do your
stings.
research if you're gonna pay the bills.
I just want to say I still hold the record for the most tens in the history
Well,
of the show.
duly noted.
Just
but
saying.
coming from that, what is that ever? What did you find like the difference between a UK form of stardom and what's now, pardon the pun, your emergence on Stars with American Gods? I mean, a scale obviously, but
I mean, yeah, you just got to look at the distribution that the show has. We go out live Sunday nights on Stars to the whole of America. It's available on the Stars app to whoever has access to the Stars app, from the whole of Sunday. But then within 24 hours, it goes to 200 different territories on Amazon Prime Video outside of America. I didn't even know there was 200 territories in the world.
Neil was very involved. I mean, he's a producer on it, and I know that he was, even when he wasn't around on set, he was looking at dailies and stuff online, what have you.
Yeah, from everything.
What was that like for you? Because he's the guy. I mean, Neil, unlike also many times when an author writes something, Neil's almost the biggest star of American Gods just before you guys came along.
I mean, he is.
What did he have to say to you about how to play Shadow and how he saw it?
He is an absolute rock star of the book world. And that was apparent to me at San Diego Comic-Con when we announced the cast and the show.
Massive
And,
response.
Brian Fuller comes out and Michael Green, and they get a huge applause. And that was new for me, that the producers are just like so well received. I was like, okay, yeah, I mean, he's done Logan, he's done Hannibal, they're great, they're fantastic. That's cool, I like it. People respect my bosses, I love this. And then the cast kind of came out and they gave us a good applause. And then Neil Gaiman walks out in a room with 5,000 plus people, and there's a standing ovation.
I remember I was there. I was in the second. It was crazy. It was crazy.
I remember leaning to Pablo, just going, dude, I mean, should we go? Are we needed?
And we're back up now.
It's like we're backing dancers. All of a sudden, that's huge. And then when he kind of turns up on the set to see those characters finally come off the page after 16 years, it was like, this is insane. It's mind-blowing. It's incredible. And there was a pressure there. There was maybe, no, it's still not intimidation. It's a pressure to kind of, live out his thoughts. And
Well, and
his
Neil is always,
ideas.
Neil is one of those unique writers, and I think individuals, he's so detail-orientated, but his perspective is always like 40,000 feet simultaneously.
Yeah, no, he's thinking about everything. And when he was there, he could have been completely hands-on and said, that's not how I want you to play it. I wouldn't do that. Say it like this. But he's not. He just literally handed it over to Brian and Michael and the cast and said, this is your baby. And that takes a great man to do that. To hand over his beloved, his child and just go, now it's yours. Do what you will with it. For him to kind of give us his blessing was the real honor, and kind of literally took all the pressure off of our shoulders.
Well, Mr. Ricky Whittle, I have to say, Neil Gaiman might have it, but your enthusiasm and passion for American Gods and everything else is infectious as well. Thank you for joining
so
us,
much,
sir.
and thanks for enjoying the show.